Do you got a
water.
drink? You got a drink?
I do have my drink. Actually, that one's empty, but I have another one.
Okay.
I brought extra because, yeah, you gotta be able to drink, because
Hydration is key.
Dry mouth is the worst. Hydration is key.
Cotton mouth. Ugh,
Be sure to drink water. Let's go. All right.
Are you ready?
Yep.
Welcome back to the Holotable Games Network. I'm Ginger Joe.
And I am Spaceball 1 First Gunner Corey. Asshole. How you doing?
What is that from? What?
Wait, you didn't understand when I said Spaceball 1?
Well, okay, so it's from Spaceballs then? Okay.
I'm very disappointed in you.
Well, no, but
in the obvious.
The Spaceball 1 I got, and then you just kept going, and I was like, wait, what?
Corey asshole, because, you know, it's a ship full of assholes.
Okay.
Don't you remember? Like,
do you know how long ago? Do you know how long ago it's been since I've seen Spaceballs?
That's fair.
But hey, they're making
they're making
Spaceballs
another.
2.
It might be okay.
Hey, listen here.
I want it to be good.
It can't be any worse than Super Troopers 2.
I mean, that's true. I want it to be good. History of the World Part 2 was very disappointing, and that makes me nervous.
I'm still a huge Mel Brooks fan.
Oh, yeah.
Like, my goal in life when I was younger was to be in Mel Brooks' film. I moved to California when I was younger, and as soon as I moved down there, he retired.
Of course, yeah.
As soon as I moved back to Oregon, he unretired, and I went, you son of a...
I mean, the flip side is also Mel Brooks past the 80s hasn't been the best. Past Spaceballs, really.
Because, I mean, look at the...
I love Men in Tights, but Men in Tights is a terrible movie. But it's great.
I love Men in Tights.
it, but it's not good.
But you got, in my opinion, you got to blame the cancel culture for that, because a lot of the humor that Mel Brooks had does not stand the test of time so well.
I disagree.
Okay.
I largely disagree. I've heard people make the claim you couldn't make Blazing Saddles today, and I think that's completely untrue. We made Tropic Thunder 10 years ago, and that was way worse than Blazing Saddles.
That was still before cancel culture, though.
No, that was not, because cancel culture is also BS to be saying that. They were saying that in the 90s with PC culture. That's been around forever. But no, I don't think that's true. It has to do with the way you frame it. And Blazing Saddles frames it as it's mocking those idiots.
Sure.
Like, that's the way. And it's the same with Tropic Thunder. It's like, you can't do it if you're having them be heroes. Well, but if you're making fun of them, it's perfectly fine to have them be jackasses.
Well, the best comedy is when you're making fun of yourself, in my opinion.
True.
So it's like it's the degradation of character, so to speak. So,
yeah.
Anyway.
We
don't
need to talk about
enough movie chit chat. Let's get on to some Star Wars chit chat.
Yes.
And the first thing I want to do is actually go back to our last episode where we were talking about the trilogy format.
Yeah.
And I've had a little bit of time to sit and marinate on this, and I'm actually not so against the trilogy format as what we initially thought were like, oh, they're taking away the suspension list. And the reason why is because it's the Eternal format. And if this is going to be their supported Eternal format, which means when sets cycle away, I can still use all the cards that I own. They're not ever going to be unusable. I think I'm okay with that, because the degenerate decks that exist currently are not always going to be there.
And I agree with that. Eventually, as an Eternal format, that'll be fine. My issue is I don't think we'll be in that place when they actually do the rotation and they want to make it Eternal at that point. Like, I think initially it's going to be just nobody's going to want to play it. And that's the problem, is because early on there's not enough of a card pool right now to balance out the problem. And there's not going to be enough of a card pool by that point in time. And the problem being that, yes, long term it could eventually be fine. But people are going to get driven away from wanting to play it initially because of how bad it's going to be, and then that's going to mean it's not going to get supported because nobody wants to play it.
So here's the caveat to that I disagree for this reason.
Yeah.
It is a single game format in the regard of, unlike before where it's I sit down at a table, I'm having to play against your hated Django deck, right? I don't have to beat your Django deck 2 out of 3 matches. I literally have to beat it 1 time. And unlike normally where you have a meta to where, oh, if this is the dominant deck, now suddenly I have to come up with a deck that can beat that. No, this is a format where those one-offs that can suddenly be great against a single type of deck, but suck against everything else in the meta, you can pull one of those out And maybe that gives you that edge against those types of decks. Because now you only have to beat it that one time. And what is your opponent?
But you have to beat 2 decks once.
Sure, but once you win with your Django deck, it's done. You can't win with it again, kind of thing. So if I have a silver bullet against your Django deck, you're gonna ban my silver bullet just so that you can get that win. Well, that's gonna leave me maybe my other 2 more powerful decks against you at that point in time. I think the banning potential and the fact that you can only win, you don't have to play the deck once, is actually the balance point to where maybe those degenerate decks aren't so degenerate anymore. Time will tell. That's all we can say.
Yeah, time will tell. Again, my viewpoint is, I do think long term it should be fine. Eternal format should be okay because things are going to be broken, but a lot of things are going to be broken.
Sure.
And it just becomes like the Magic's Eternal, where it's just like there's all kinds of broken stuff. It happens. But even in Magic's Eternal, they have limitations on, you can only have one of these cards. You can only have. I don't know if there's anything banned in that. I've not been in Magic for a long time, but I do know that there is restricted lists still in even their Eternal format, where it's a 1 of in a deck. It just becomes you have to keep the meta healthy for that format, and that's my concern. Is I don't think the initial meta is going to be healthy, and I think that's going to drive a lot of people from wanting to play it, and that kills the format.
It's not going to drive me from wanting to play
it.
I'm
fully in.
I mean, like I said, I'm making 3 decks. I'm already thinking about my first deck that I want to make, which is a deck that I wanted to make for a very long time, and didn't think like it was going to actually be. Mainly, I didn't have the Darth Vaders to do it, but I now have them. But now it's the with the taking away the ban on Triple Dark Raid. That was a key card for that deck as well. It wasn't a, tier S deck, but it was definitely something that had some cheeky fun things I could do with it. And so I'm down to take that because I like the one-off ideas of stuff. So anyway.
Yeah, we'll see. I'm coming into it, gonna give it a chance and give it a try. I just, again, I don't think I would want to play it competitively right now. I think I would just want to stick with playing it with friends, have fun.
I encourage you.
And encourage the friends to be saying, I don't want to play your Django deck, don't bring it.
I still encourage you to bring Trilogy decks to Worlds and at least try the format.
So much work.
It's not that much work.
I mean, I guess I technically probably will have 3 decks with me, so I could just play it anyway.
All you really have to do is make 2 more. You're going to have your one that you're going to use as the premier format for the constructor. Just make 2 more decks.
I mean, I have like 4 or 5 decks, so obviously,
yeah, you don't have to make anything special for Trilogy, but I'm just saying, try the format with the decks that you're bringing.
I might give it a go. We'll see. I mean, I could always, because I could bring the Kira deck, because that's the one everybody's going to ban. That makes it easy. And, well, I mean, between because I've got Kaz, Poe, and Kira decks built right now.
Great.
So yeah, I would bring those, and Poe and Kira would get banned every time. And easy, and then I'm just playing Kaz and Poe.
Well, I know that's the one that I would ban. So. All right, so for today, what we're trying to bring for you is, it's pre-release week. So we are in the midst of the Legends of the Force pre-releases. So we wanted to actually do a draft thing for you. So draft and sealed is kind of a little beast of itself. And typically when you are drafting and sealing, you're going to be looking towards a little bit of an acronym that we like to call BREAD. No, not that bread.
Yeah.
It's more so this bread, which stands for bomb, removal, evasion, what's the other one? Aggro, and duds or dead cards. Things that are just unplayable.
Yeah.
One thing I actually personally, when I'm looking at stuff, especially in this game, I like to add recovery into the R. So instead of removal, it's also recovery. Ways to get yourself back in the game that maybe aren't just removing something, but delaying your opponent from getting that finishing touch onto you. So, Corey?
I see what you're saying there. I don't know if it's as high a priority as removal. I'm trying to think. I would probably put that in the same category as evasion, honestly.
Well, sure. I mean, if you want to, but it's not an R, so it goes into the removal and recovery section.
Recovering is evading can be recovering.
Recovering can be evading.
We'll go with that.
It's an R, so it goes in the R category.
So it's red.
So
no, I mean, I will say for myself, I love draft. Sealed is okay. Sealed, I will say, like, of the limited formats, draft is definitely the best because that allows you to kind of sculpt it a little bit. Sealed is a lot of fun, but you definitely have to come into it with I might end up with complete crap. I actually had that last night with my draft. I kept opening packs and just getting a fat load of nothing good. Like, my only bombs, for example, were heroism cards. And they weren't good enough to splash because it was like Keller and Beck, which was 7. To splash that at 9 is just too much.
So the problem was your leaders were villain, your bombs were heroism.
No, I had Obi-Wan. I had good leaders. I had 3 2-drops in heroism. If I went heroism, I would have 3 2-drops. Which is just not playable. And like my other units, I had a couple bombs, but otherwise my unit selection was horrible.
Okay.
And then my dark side, my villainy, I had okay-ish early drops. I didn't really have anything to finish the game. And it was just kind of brutal. And that happens. That's the way it's going to go with Sealed. I still squeaked out 2 wins. I think I got really lucky on those 2 wins.
How many rounds you play?
4 rounds.
Okay.
4 rounds, best of 1.
50%.
Yeah. So still
it's a casual format. It should be best of 1.
It's casual. It's relaxed. But yeah, it's a lot of fun, and it's just, you always have to just make sure you have a grain of salt, especially with when you're doing Sealed. Know that you just might get crap. It happens. You might also get just crazy good cards, like multiple people were pulling Vaders, and I'm just like, it'd be really nice if I pulled a Vader right now. I'd feel a lot better about myself. That's great. So it's luck of the draw, and that is why I do like draft better, because then you can start to sculpt of, I'm looking for this, and there is further play in looking at what the people beside you are drawing to try to build your deck that's not overlapping theirs, to try to make sure you get the good cards. There's a lot more strategy in draft, and I really enjoy that one a lot. But even Sealed is just a good time. So if you haven't done a pre-release or a draft, you really should. Go out, have a good time. Just come into it with an attitude of, I'm here to have fun. I'm here to mess around with deck building, see what I can make out of a mess of cards that might not be great, and just see what the best I can do with that is.
Yeah, and pre-releases are a great way of, like, A, getting some of the cards ahead of time. B, if you can compete in enough pre-releases, it's like getting the whole box.
Pretty much, yeah.
And the environment that you're participating in gets you better connected with your community, and, that's always the fun part. Because, this is a game to play with other people, after all, not just by yourself in your room. So
100%. And actually that does remind me of one thing that we have not done yet. Got to do a quick shout out to the Portland area community. We really have an absolutely phenomenal community up here. If you're anywhere near the Portland area, or even just come up to the Portland area, there's a Discord. We'll throw a Discord in the link in the description. Sure. Also, the PDX SWU Discord is huge. We've got a lot of players. Portland is a very weird place where we have the most ridiculous number of game stores, I think, anywhere.
I honestly
per capita.
I feel like there is an event running every single day of the week.
Yes.
Whether it's Twin Suns, some just casual play. I think one store runs a weekly tournament at that point in time.
Actually, several do. Guardian does, PGS does. Like, a lot of stores do like a weekly best of 3 tournament just to keep practicing. I'll be grinding those for the next month up to Galactics.
That's only a couple weeks away.
I know, it's...
I'm still deciding what I'm going to even be taking, and it's just like, I don't know. I will say this, there's a lot of great options. I'm hoping we don't end up in a Django situation where it's like, 50% of it is one thing, because there is a lot of great ideas floating in my head at the moment, so we'll see where it all...
yeah. I'm not going to go too into it, but I think you're going to see a lot of Han 2.
Oh yeah, that was already on there. All right, well, we're going to... move on to the next section, which is actually a little bit of gameplay for you. So I got some packs, and we're going to do my favorite way of opening a box of cards, especially when you have a friend that you can open it with, and we're going to do a Winchester draft. So if you're not familiar with what a Winchester draft is, my buddy Alex introduced this to me, and it's been my favorite way of doing things ever since. You're going to take 12 packs, and we are going to take the leaders out without looking at any other card in the pack whatsoever. And then we are going to snake draft the leaders to determine what we're looking for. Then you take all the other cards and put them face down in one giant pile off to the side. We are then going to put 4 cards out face up in different columns. And then whoever drafted second on the snake draft drafts first on the Winchester. And they get to choose one of the 4 face up piles. Then, after they choose their pile, we add 4 more cards, 1 onto each column. This means that 3 of the columns are going to have 2 cards now, and 1 column has 1 card. The other player then gets to choose one of the columns. And then you repeat that process until all the cards have been drafted. Then each player takes their drafted cards and makes their 30-card deck, and we deal them out and play. So it's just a fun way of doing that. So we're going to go ahead and transition over and start doing that. But first, we got a little present for you guys, which I got 4 Carbonite packs, and we're going to go ahead and crack those open and see if I get lucky and get a serialized for this.
There you go, yeah.
It's always fun to see these things. I'm not big on the Carbonite packs personally. I'm much more of a I want the play set, I don't want the pretties.
Yeah.
But this is always my little lottery. I always get 4 packs and see what comes of them when they're out. So no showcase right away, but we get a Snoke, Army of the Dead, Hyena Bomber, Disturbance of the Force, Blockade Bomber, Karis, Size Matters Not, Invasion Control Ship, and an ETH Koth.
There we
That's
go.
the prestige
Nice
for
prestige,
us.
yeah.
And this is actually what I get the Carbonites for more so. I love the hyperspace.
Yeah.
I love the hyperspace, and this is where I don't really care for the foils. I wish they would stop printing these personally.
I love a hyperspace foil. I don't like a regular foil.
Honestly, these could never be printed again, and I would be completely happy with that. Just make them all hyperspace or hyperspace foils.
Yes.
We don't need 17,000, especially now that we started doing prestiges and foils, and this is how many different variants do we need?
Well, and the pringling is a big problem. But I do find that hyperspace foils are not as bad, but you can see this is curved. It's pringled in the pack, and that's a big problem, and that's the big problem with the regular foils.
Well, the bigger problem that I have is if I only have I have so much of a budget, right?
Yeah.
If my third copy of my Luke Skywalker happens to be a foil and it's pringled, and I bring it to a tournament, and I suddenly get disqualified or something because I have a pringled card and it's quote unquote marked, that's not my fault. You printed the card.
Yeah, exactly. It's
this is the only thing that I have available to my resources. It's that's
Yeah, it's
anyway, Talzin, beautiful, gonna be heavily played.
Yep.
Wampa.
I love a Wampa.
I've always wanted to make a good creature deck. I'm hoping to make a good creature deck, but I don't know if it's there yet. Even with the sub faction in this set, I still don't know if it's there.
It's close.
Oh.
But yeah,
I see another great one.
Oh.
Infused Brawler looks great.
That is gorgeous.
That just looks great.
They look really good in foil. I'm curious to see a hyperspace foil of that.
The green stuff always pops on hyperfoil. I got the Mother Talzin, the from the last set, the Restore 2/3/5.
Yes.
I got a hyperspace foil of that. That looks gorgeous.
Yes, beautiful.
So, and that's a nice pull.
No, nice Inquisitor. Yeah.
Qui-Gon Hyperfoil Aether Sprite. That's also very cool because that's one of the starter cards. Yeah. So this is one of the only ways you can get that non-starter kind of thing.
Yeah.
And then a Protect the Pod.
And Hyperfoil is also nice.
Hyperfoil is nice.
I do like the Protect the Pod in foil.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that a lot.
All right. Nope. Avar Chris Hyperspace though. Are all the leaders hyperspace in this? I think they are.
Yeah, you get all hyperspace in the Carbonite boxes.
All right, so Cure Wounds,
Yeah, exactly.
Is that how you say that?
That sounds right.
Again, the regular foils I'm not so keen on, except there is a legendary, so... And
an okay legendary.
Old Baka.
Old Daka.
Daka.
D. That's a D.
B.
That's not a B.
Jedi Temple Guards, Force Slow, Weakened Specters. Oh, yes. Love me a Porg. Hyperspace Foil Porg. Winner.
Let's go.
I'm actually more excited for this than I am for this. What does that say? I want the Hyperspace Foil Porg over I want that. 3 lessons. So this is a card that I actually think is going to be overlooked right away, but I don't think it's a terrible card, especially in certain deck formats. There's another one that I think is a green version, which is the same thing. I think it's going to be overlooked at first, but I think this card in a Barris Offie deck might not be bad.
Well, I mean, 2 costs to add an experience token to shield is not bad.
But
like, that's a good, and then you get hidden on top of that.
Right, and Barris Offie can do it for 1.
Yeah.
So that's where I'm saying, like, I think that could be, like, the thing. The other one is it's a green card, cost 1. You put a force card from your discard pile underneath your deck, and then you play a unit, and it gets 2 experience. And that only costs 1. So in Barris Offie, that's basically free. You're basically giving a +2 buff to any unit for free.
I like the foiling a lot on this Hyperspace Qui-Gon Jinns.
Yep.
That looks really nice. The clouds pop really well.
Yep.
You probably can't see it in stream, obviously. It's not going to be that clear in the video, but yeah, if you see one of these in person, this is pretty. That's a very pretty card.
Darth Tyrannus, Ascension, Loth, Consular. Hey! They match.
Another old Daka.
I'll take that. Array foil. Oh, and sure, this is going to see some heavy play in this set as well.
Oh, yeah, sure
it's going to be very, very good. So, Tip the Scale, I think, is going to be actually utilized card a lot in yellow as well.
Yeah.
Because it also gives villain access to do Spark of the Rebellion-ish type things. So,
I mean, the flip side is, do you play that over Jam Communications? Yes, it'll let you get upgrades.
Villain. Jam Communications is a heroic card.
Oh, you're right. Thank you.
So Tip
I
the
forgot about
Scale
that.
is why I said
that was
this can be used in Villain. So it's essentially the look at the hand card that's better in some regards than the one that makes you discard a card and then do it. So yeah, you can't take units, but I don't have to discard a card out of my hand to do it. So,
yeah, thanks. I completely forgot that Jam Communications was heroism only.
I'm actually a big fan of Axe. I've seen several decks that utilize him, and I think he has the potential to be some busted early damage for people.
He's very good. If you get some experience tokens on him, he's very, very good at that point.
Yeah,
oh, yeah, there's some good stuff.
One of the best ways that I've seen people use it is the Force is with me or the Force is with you or whatever.
Yep.
So you're giving a shield token and 2 experience on Axe. That's a +5/+5.
Yeah.
That is redonkulous. And you can even attack with the unit as long as you have another Force unit in play. So...
Wait, isn't that a +6? That's a... Yeah, +5/+5. Yeah, math.
Math.
I can't do maths. I'm very bad at that.
All right. Did we get a showcase?
Nope.
All right. I think this is another one that, like, its stat line isn't terrible. It doesn't have immediate impact on the board, but a 4/6 is not easily removed. We've seen that with things like the Ruthless Raiders and stuff like that, right? It's Restore 2, and it's neutral. So, especially for a villain deck that usually struggles to get Restore cards, this actually might be okay.
Yeah.
It's still yet to be seen, but it doesn't have any good keywords or traits that you're really looking to... like capitalize off of with Fringe.
It's just Fringe. That's it. That's one thing I was looking at. We saw a lot of Fringe cards this set. So I think it's very possible we could start to get some Fringe synergy in the near future. We just need a few cards that utilize Fringe.
Well, the biggest one that we saw was the one that gives a Fringe unit shield, which was that 6-drop, but it was too slow.
That's not enough value. We need events that interact with Fringe, that type of thing.
I still don't know how I feel about this 2-card combo of a Precarious Predicament and It's Worse. I'm still not sure. I kind of like It's Worse as being a neutral just removal card, but I don't know.
I mean, I think it's cute. I think it's a lot to spend in your deck to utilize it. That's 6 cards for a combo that may or may not happen.
Right.
So yeah, there's a lot of risk in that.
So, all right, what are we getting? Kylo.
Ooh.
And that's the foil version.
Nice.
Not sure if you can tell that. I don't think any of those were the foil version.
No, these are the regular.
So this is technically what they call the Tier 2 version. And the one thing I do like about these foil treatments is that the characters are not foil, but the stuff around them is foil. So it almost makes them pop out against the background kind of thing. So it has like that 2-dimensional or double-layered kind of effect to it. Yeah,
the Prestige foiling is very nice. If I don't get one of those, I'll trade you for that. Because I gotta get my one of every Prestige foil because I'm insane.
Like I said, I'm not so big on the pretties. It's more so I just want the play set of stuff. And I get the Carbonites because it has a higher chance. I mean, you get more of the hyperspace, which is really what I'm looking for kind of thing. So, following, corrupting, again, Qui-Gon's lightsaber, this is one of the only ways you can actually get it. I mean, you can get the standard one, but to get the hyperspace one, this is one of the easier ways to get that, because that's the only way that happens. And I got one of the new bases, the rear base, and a hyperspace of the rear base, so that's kind of cool.
Nice.
So the Temple of Destruction one, this is the one where any unit can give you the Force, as long as they dealt 3 or more damage, combat damage, to the enemy base. So you can't do like a, K2SO does 3 damage when it dies, and now I get the Force token. That doesn't quite work that way, so...
Yeah, I don't think I love that one, honestly. Yeah, I think of the rare bases, it's probably the worst.
I don't know. I mean, people have always said that the rare bases, like Jeddah City, is always the worst one.
Sorry, I mean rare bases of this set.
Sure, but like I'm saying, like people have always said that when the sets come out, like Jeddah City sucks, or Security Complex is worthless in comparison, kind of thing. But now we have so many uses that Security Complex is starting to come into play. Let me look at the GI deck that won a PQ because it was using Security Complex to protect its units. I think a lot of those things are very just a situational thing. Some of them are a little bit more universal than others. These things, I think, it's just on the deck. I mean, if you have a couple cards that need the Force, or your ability on your leader needs the Force, but you don't really want to gear into a whole Force deck, I think something like that is not bad, especially if you're trying to play like an aggro deck. Every single one of my units that can do 3 damage suddenly gives me the Force.
Yeah, there's good in that. It's just the restriction of... needing to have them hit the base for 3 or more does feel really restrictive.
There's a lot of Saboteur units with 3 damage. And they can go right to the base with no problems whatsoever. So
yeah. We shall see. We'll see how it plays out. But yeah, I mean, I don't see myself building anything with it, that's for sure.
Sure.
Although I don't think I'm building anything Force-based right now. So
by your deck selections that you've mentioned, Kira, Poe, and Kaz, no, you're not.
Do not care at all. Yep. And yeah, aside from Hantu Blue that I'm considering just because it's really, really good right now. Yeah, I don't think I'm really looking at anything.
I actually lean towards Hantu Green instead of Blue.
Green's fair too. I mean, the big thing with Blue is you get Luke.
Sure.
And Shatterpoint.
Sure.
Green. Which are both very good.
Yeah, but Green I get Yoda. And Yoda's lightsaber.
Yeah.
So, both have valid points.
Both are fair. I have not done enough testing of either of them to know what I like better, but I think they both have good potential.
Sure. Like I said, it just kind of goes where you want to go at that point in time. So, now we're going to do, like I said, opening a box. But we only do half the box. It's only 12 packs. I struggle.
Plastic is very challenging.
I'm a gamer, not a body lifter. Or bodybuilder, or whatever it is.
Body lift.
Body lifter! I lift bodies!
I also don't speak English.
I do not speak English? What is English? Okay, so, do we want to shuffle them, or do you just want to take a left or a right?
Let's just do left or right.
Left or right?
Let's just do a stack.
I'll give you choice, left or right.
I mean, Yoda's on the front of this one.
Yoda's on that stack.
We gotta go with the one that's showing Yoda. So there's one stack
so
right
we're
there.
going one stack. That's all we're doing.
Yep.
So, what we do is we take 6
grab
packs.
6 each.
Take 6.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yep.
Perfect cut, sir. So, we're going to open these, and you do not look at any cards whatsoever.
Pull the leader and the base.
So, all you have to do, so if anybody wants to know this, you open the pack like this. It should be like this every single time. You can just pull the bottom 2 cards, and that should be your base and leader, and then you can just set the rest of it off to the side. So this way you prevent, like, peeking at what's going to happen. So we don't know if there's legendaries, we don't know if there's anything. The one thing we'll find out is if there's a showcase, because we can't do anything about that.
You got a Rey.
Got a Kylo.
Oops, the wrong side up. But that's the other nice thing is if you're accidentally the wrong side up, because they have the leader first, you don't see anything if you do that.
Yeah. I do like this. I already got a hyperspace on the base.
Nice. Because I'll show when I do that, because like, oh no, I opened it the wrong way. Oh, I can just see the leader, flip it back over, make sure I don't see anything. Because honestly, just have fun with it. Just don't try to cheat. Why would you try to cheat?
Oh, Force token.
Oh yeah, that's
That's on the back of some of the bases.
Do it all the time. All the time. Alright. No showcase. Not a surprise there.
Yet.
Yes.
Yet. Keep the yet in your mouth.
Yeah.
Keep the yet in your mouth.
No showcase yet. None on my side, that's for sure.
I just realized I gotta go get the tokens for us for the gameplay.
Yeah, we do need those.
Yeah. I was not completely set up.
Oh no!
Oh, I got an Obi-Wan. That's nice. That'll be an interesting setup for us. Actually, I think our leader selection was pretty good, actually.
Got a pretty wide selection, it looks like.
Get this. Snoke. And, yeah, we got actually a pretty diverse...
selection.
No doubles, right?
No, we got two
Snokes.
Snokes. We got two Snokes. I think that's it, though. That's the only Benson we got.
That's pretty impressive, to be perfectly honest.
Good.
So...
yeah, do not hate this.
I kind of want to shuffle this, but I kind of don't want to shuffle this.
Nah, don't shuffle it.
Well, it's going to be kind of in an order then, because you have all the commons and all the rares and everything in the right order.
Yeah, but that's fine.
All right.
Yeah, I don't think that's... I mean, I don't know. Do you usually do a shuffle with a Winchester or not?
I don't remember. It's fine. What is it?
Yeah, we'll just do it this way, and yeah.
It is what it is. Okay, so I gotta get our tokens so that we can properly roll.
Yeah. You want to pause the video really quick?
No, we're good.
I'm just gonna hang out and chat then. You know, how's everybody doing today?
It only takes me 2 seconds to grab
okay, that was quick. All right, good. I was running out of things to say already.
Wow. I have to teach you the gift of gab. It's an Irish tradition, the gift of gab.
That is true.
So.
It's very true.
All right, so the usual D100. 99 cent left.
Yeah, that's a pretty good roll there you got. Yeah, I've got a 84, which is not as high, so you get first pick. So you pick 1, then I pick 2.
Correct.
Okay.
So, let's see here. That's probably going to come back around. I do believe... Well, the question is like, how much force am I going to be able to get access to? It is the force set, so one would think you should have plenty of options for it.
I mean, if you saw my poll last night, you can know that sometimes you don't.
There are several actually good options here. Let's see. 5 heroic, which means we got 7 villainous.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I actually think I'm gonna like Obi-Wan as my top pick here.
That is not a bad call in that place. I will go with... So I get to pick 2.
You pick 2, correct.
One of them will be Talzin.
Yep.
Talzin is very good.
People have speculated that Obi-Wan and Talzin are probably the top 2 leaders from this set, just by the versatility of what they are, the efficiency of coming out, because they both come out on turn 5. Wait, Talzin is 5, right?
Talzin is 5, yep. Talzin is 5. I kind of want to do Fisto, but I just don't know how many actual Jedi units I'll get. That's the challenge with Fisto.
It is.
It's great if you get Jedi units, but if you don't get Jedi units, not so good.
Mm-hmm. You're also looking at a lot of heroes. You're trying to diversify by going one villain, one hero.
Yeah, it's always good to diversify a little bit. That's kind of my thought process, especially as heavy as we are in villainy. Sure. I'll get more villainy. I should probably get some heroism while it's still out there. You know, let's give Cal Kestis a try, actually.
Okay. I will say he was on my list.
Yeah, I think he's worth considering.
I think then I'm going to take the Fisto and see what happens potentially there.
Yep,
but then I'm going to take my girl third sister as well, because I've been messing with her quite a bit.
And I will... I think I'm going to grab the Rey and a Snoke.
Okay. I definitely wanted to get a Snoke. Since you took one, I'm going to have to take one now.
Yep.
Of course, you take the hyperspace one.
Well, yeah, of course. I mean, duh, why would I not? You have to take the pretty one.
The other thing that I'm looking at is I don't have yellow or blue currently. So...
I mean, you get that with your base potentially, though, too, so...
I don't think there's going to be enough for that. As much as I don't think I like him, I'm going to take him.
All right. I mean, I think you know what you're stuck with. I love you, Revan. It's not a good card. I'm very disappointed that in Fantasy Flight. I think they did a good job with Anakin. He balances out not having an aspect or a base aspect pretty well. He's still not perfect, but I think his power is more valuable. I don't think Revan's power is good enough to justify losing an aspect. I don't think it's strong enough.
I don't disagree. I feel like he is better suited in yellow. Because what you're trying to do is use things like shoot first.
Yeah.
And the space one that is the stay on target, I believe is what it is, that give you essentially first strike. Because you are trying to swing in or move a unit with first strike, therefore you don't take the retaliation damage and you get the experience off of that.
Yeah.
I don't think the payoff is enough, though.
That's what, yeah, end of the day, I just don't think I think they needed to tone him up a little bit more. Oh, hi. Pretty corrupted lightsaber.
So now we flip 4 cards face up. And since I chose leader first...
I get to choose this first.
He chooses
remind
this
me
first.
What Luthien does.
He searches for upgrades.
Search for an upgrade.
Great with Kylo.
Great with Kylo, but all the same, I'd rather just take that.
Okay, so now we flip a card onto each stack. Thus, things get bigger. Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah. Yeah.
So again, if you're following the bread method, you're looking for your early drops. You are looking for your removal cards. And you are looking for, in my case, sometimes recovery cards. And then you want evasionary cards. Which in Star Wars, what are your evasionary cards you're looking for, Corey?
Exhaust cards are probably the biggest ones. Okay. Those that you evade. Obviously, Saboteur, Sentinels. Sentinels are not evasion, but I consider them evasion because they're letting your base evade. They're giving you a blocker. They're letting your other cards as well evade by putting something in the way.
I'll take this one here.
Yep, that's what I figured. I would have taken it next if you didn't.
So now we have stacks of 3 on a couple of these.
Mm-hmm.
So this is where it gets interesting. Sometimes you're taking it for the card stock and options it gives you, not necessarily because any one particular card is great, but sometimes you just want to have that versatility of, more is better.
Yeah, I think I'm not too overly excited by anything here yet. I think I'm going to take this stack, actually.
That's not the one I thought you were going to take.
You know what I was thinking about, but I kind of like... The main reason I'm grabbing this one, just to say, is Jedi Consular, I think, is very good if I play Heroism. I also think Acolyte of the Beyond is very good if I'm playing a Force villainy. So I think both of these give me options, whereas a single card that I was looking at doesn't give me as many options.
I didn't even think you were looking at the single card.
Oh, no, yeah, I was looking at that for sure.
Oh, I got a Grogu!
Grogu!
So good in Han 2.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. So this might be the worst card of the set, honestly.
The Force Slow? Yeah, I don't know very many situations which are going to use that for.
Yeah, no. I mean, there is use cases, but there's not enough quality use cases to really justify that card.
So I think I'm taking this pile.
Okay.
And the reason why is because, A, it's the removal card. I'm not sure I can go in blue, but if nothing else, I'm depriving you, who has 3 blue leaders, an option of it.
Yeah.
But also, it's both a neutral. Both these cards are neutral, so I'm not necessarily committing towards light or dark in this regard yet.
Yep.
So that's also why I'm doing that.
Yep, that's fair. Flip 4. Another Qui-Gon.
Quinlan goes right back to where he was. That's hysterical.
I'm still not committed either, but I do like a few of the cards in here.
Yeah, it's too big of a stack. It's too big of a stack now.
It's a large stack. There's some good stuff in there. It's worth grabbing. Grogu is an excellent card. I do like that Ravenous Rathar.
think it's too limited in what you can use it for.
It's very limited, but he's adorable.
Okay, I am going to pick up this stack.
Yep, figured as much.
Oh,
Lothwolf.
Hyperspace Lothwolf.
I'm not huge on a lot in the stack, but I think there's enough to justify grabbing that huge
Sure.
stack.
Like I said, sometimes stack matters.
Yeah.
Is this that? Oh yeah, that's the rare that, like, I think this card could be sneaky good in an old Han deck. Because just like before, you can put your force units as your resources, get rid of them into your discard when you have to sacrifice a resource, so that on the Han turn when he flips on 6, you can then play this to give Han plus your other 2 units on the board +4/+4 by getting rid of the force units that you basically seeded into your discard pile intentionally.
Yeah.
That could be a huge, like, mid-range swing at that point in time.
Potentially, yeah.
So the other thing you have to also be cognizant of is your early drops in this as well. So
Yes.
it's not always just taking bombs.
That is very important to
because
consider.
if you don't have early drops, bombs don't do you any good.
Yeah, that is very important to make sure you have the good stuff.
I'm actually going to take this pile.
Interesting. Okay. I did not think you would take that.
Yep. Nice. Uh-oh.
That stack's just too good. A Quinlan and a Kelleran back.
Hey, it's worse.
Hey, it's worse.
I feel like in this environment that could be very bad. I think I'm taking this.
Okay. Babu. Yeah, it's gotta be this stack.
So it's official that if it's ever 4 cards or more, you just take the stack. It doesn't
I
matter.
mean, it depends on what's there. I wouldn't say go that far, but
So far, it
nothing
isn't that
was
way.
selling me on what was out here, so I'm like, yeah, I'll just take the big one.
In this case, this is the one we go with.
Well, what's out there? What's Fallen Jedi again? Just a 3/4
3/4.
for 3.
Yep.
Nothing else on that. That's a return that. 2 for Star 2 and the Blockade Runner is that would tour. And gets tokens. That's not a bad card. I think it's going to be. I think it's going to be this one.
Okay.
A couple neutral cards. Give it a go. I will also say this is my first time doing this Winchester draft type thing, so I might be screwing up badly. Who knows? This is new to me. But it's fun.
It's a different way of doing things.
Yeah.
Like I said, this is just To me, this is better than just,
stack is just gigantic.
ripping open packs.
Yeah,
You know,
no.
I mean, it's just like,
Agreed.
okay. Ripping open packs is... there's
There's
a bomb.
Yeah.
There is a bomb.
Know what stack you're taking.
You do indeed know what stack I am taking.
That's kind of a given.
Yep.
Porg. That's your stack.
So a lot of people are like, I guarantee, like, meh about this card. I actually think this has way more versatility than people are giving credit for. So,
Potentially.
well, think about it this way. It's a 0 cost, right? Which
Yeah.
means it's essentially a pass action without being a pass action. But
Yeah.
you can use it as a setup tool for a lot of other things. For instance, I dropped this setting up for an exploit card that I'm going to play next round.
Yeah.
So if I put this out there and you're like, oh, it's a little 1/1, I don't give a crap. Now I can exploit and make something even cheaper.
Oh yeah, there's
right?
exploit decks that can utilize that.
There is coordinate decks that can utilize this. Oh, I only had 1 unit, so I can't turn on Ahsoka's coordinate. Suddenly, Porg.
Yeah.
Now coordinate's online, I'm smacking you for 6 instead.
Yeah.
There is, I have this in my hand and you force throw me, haha, you get 0.
Yeah.
This has a lot of utility that I don't think people are giving enough credit for personally.
Yeah. Sure.
Anyway.
Will of the Force.
Pounce.
Pounce.
You can pounce a Porg.
Pounce a Porg.
Okay.
Where I'm going here. I don't even know where I'm going.
Honestly, I have a couple directions I can go, and it's essentially one of those things I need to pick the direction and run.
Yeah, I'm kind of just I'm still at the, I'm figuring it out phase. Yeah, there's paths to go. There's options.
Oh, that's
Big
another
brother.
big bomb.
Yep.
That's a solid low drop. And another Lothwolf. Holy
Another
crap.
just stand around Wolf. What's up? I think I just have to grab the bomb. I don't want you getting it either. That's kind of a block draft right there. I don't care that much about anything out there, but let's get that bomb away from you.
All right.
Bacon Spectre.
I have a feeling that if you get that, I'm in trouble. Yeah, that's... I don't really know if I'm doing that. But I also can't give you 2 of each of
No, I
these.
think you were, yeah. I think that's the right call of I was
That's a
taking that.
block pull more than it's
Yeah.
a I need this for myself pull, because that would give you 2 of those.
Yeah, that was going to be mine immediately. Yeah, I would have taken that. I wouldn't even care what goes on it. In this instance, though, I think... where am I going? I'm going probably that way. A lot of this stuff does not help the ways I'm thinking of going. Ugh. Yeah, this is not a great one. This is a tough selection for me. This is not good across the board.
Well, like I said, if it's nothing for you, what do you think it's going to be for me? And
That's
just take
what the flip
that.
side is. Yeah, what do I want to block you
do a
from?
hate draft.
I think I want to. I think in the possibility that I go to That way, let's grab this, because this has some possibility for me, depending on where I end up at.
Foil Wampa. Hello, Zuckus.
Zuckus! That's not getting played.
At this point,
worth mentioning limited.
This
Double aspect
has too
is
many
terrible.
things.
Yeah, that's fair.
I can't let that go.
Yeah. Yeah, double aspect is not really playable most of the time. And
Towson's Assassin.
there's a Towson's Assassin.
Protect the pod of some removal potential.
Yep. What was Maz's? I forget what Maz was.
Force unit. It's basically a fleet lieutenant with force.
Fleet lieutenant force. Yep. Which is not bad in this set, obviously.
I actually have a Qui-Gon deck I'm working on that is trying to do the aggro thing with force units and bouncing Maz Kanata back to my hand over and over again.
Yeah, that's a good way to do it. Utilizing her over and over can be pretty useful. Yeah, I think I might actually grab that pile.
Sure.
Mods might have some value. Curious Flock. More porgs. Yep.
That's a good unit.
Yeah, I like him.
Ooh!
The daughter. You may use the force and heal too. Yeah, that's what that one was. Okay. That's actually not a bad card.
So I heard a combo that people were trying to mess around with that. Sabine, you ping both of you, and you heal yourself for one by using the force.
Yeah, that works.
You could also do the same condentation if you have a way of doing indirect damage to yourself for one, to heal yourself for two.
Yeah, I think the challenge is going to be, I don't think Sabine's going to want to use the force.
Well, I was going to say, the challenge is going to be having the force token in a non-force deck, 100%.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I think getting the force token is going to be tough for her.
Oh, it's my favorite card.
Battle Flurry.
This has too many options.
Mm-hmm. Fair.
Oh, that's a nice unit.
Yeah, I do like her a lot. And I think that might be the way I'm going, so I'm going to grab it, actually.
My favorite card.
You don't want the monkey lizard?
No, monkey lizard go. No monkey lizard.
But it's a 2-1 with ambush.
No
Very
monkey
useful.
lizard. Ah, Adi, good.
Adi, very good. Cheer it, very good.
Yeah, but as far as my collection goes, that's my second Adi. So that's
nice.
I'm
taking the
I
churret.
didn't even get a look.
I'm taking the churret.
I'm taking the churret.
It's not even a. That's not even a question. I will take that.
Early drop
That's too
force
good.
unit. The Taranta Tech and Addy in the same thing. That's pretty nice.
Yeah. It's not bad. It's not bad.
It is how you say Sarite.
If you can get heroism going,
Sarite.
that's the question. Interesting.
I can easily get heroism, whether or not it would be both those colors in heroism is the other question.
That's the tough part. Yeah, the two colors in heroism.
So I'm thinking I want to try this other thing instead. Which I think I'm going here.
Not the monkey lizard?
No, no monkey
You
lizard.
just want the monkey lizard.
Why don't you take the monkey lizard?
That's a good question. I think the main reason is because I want that Audi and that Trontek.
Sure. Yeah, okay.
Yep. Yep. Yep.
Ezra!
An Ezra for Porgs.
Also another good reason to use porgs. Drop a porg and buff them up right away.
Yeah.
Oh, good. We at least got one of every single base color.
Oh yeah, I mean that's an easy one. Yeah, we usually will hit that. Do I have the way to go that way? Is it possible? We still got a fair amount to go to.
We don't want a 2-hour video, Corey. Come on.
I know, it's so hard.
We still got to build the decks and play the games.
Yes, I want Ezra.
Okay.
I want Ezra. I also want more Ewoks. I need more Ewoks, please.
We're gonna go this
big
way.
pack, yeah. A big stack, that is.
I think this is also going to be a utilized unit more often than people think, because it's a way of immediately getting the force instead of having to, like, wait.
Yeah, it will get you the force. It's useful in that aspect. I'm going to grab this stack. I want an Ewok. Just because there's an Ewok there.
There's an Ewok.
I don't care about anything else out there. I'll take the Ewok. Yeah.
Hyperspace Mythosaur.
Yep.
Oh, Value City. Yeah, I'm taking this
Yeah,
one.
that's good.
She's just way too good of a 2-drop to, like, even let sit there, so... Yeah. I want to do something with Unleash Rage so bad. And the thing that I want to do, which I played against you that one time and you shut me down so hard with it.
Take the big stack.
Let me see that real quick.
Yeah.
So, Unleash Rage on Tor. The Bounty Hunter, that's the 3/5 that you can...
Yeah.
You can ready if you play another Bounty Hunter.
Yeah.
So what I've been waiting for, because no cards really have this, Cunning allowed it, but you couldn't really do with it, is a buff that lasts for the phase, not just the attack.
Okay.
This is one of the only cards in the game that allows a buff to sustain the entire phase.
Yeah.
So if you can put that on Tor, then swing with them, then play a Bounty Hunter to untap Tor to swing with them again.
Yeah.
That's 12 damage.
Yeah.
And that can happen on turn 4 resources.
Yeah.
That's pretty gross. So it's just definitely something I wanted to play around with. We've had so many of those. So many of those.
All the Blue Squadron Assault Wings. All of them.
Psycho Deus are rare.
I think so.
Yep, that's the second one I've seen in this group. So.
Yeah, he's got that when defeated, search for
It's not great, it's basically a cop.
Yeah, it's fine. It's fine. Jedi Garden is while it's defending, it's -2 on the attacker. Let's take the big stack.
Okay.
Monkey Lizard. Monkey Lizard! You want it?
Alright, taking the monkey.
Yay!
Holy...
Another Loth Wolf.
Wow.
I love it, but I also think this stack is better for him.
Okay, so this is the last flip. Now we just take piles as they exist.
Yep. Hey, some force throw. That's so good.
We're taking this.
Yeah, that makes sense. It's such a big stack. No reason not to. I'm going to take that other Loth Wolf.
I'll take that. You get that.
Yay, last words.
All right, and now we are into
Deck building.
Deck building.